Doctors told me I should have slowed down decades ago, but here I am, 92 years old, and I haven't been sick in over 30 years. Not a cold, not a fever, no prescriptions, no hospital stays. Most people say, you must have great genes, but I don't. What I have are habits, and one of the most powerful, the fruits I eat. Yes, fruit. Not powders, pills, or fancy supplements from TV ads, just real, whole fruits. Chosen carefully, eaten consistently, and trusted fully. You see, as we age, our immune system begins to slow. Our digestion weakens. Our inflammation rises. And yet, the right fruits, rich in antioxidants, fiber, enzymes, and healing compounds, can reverse those changes. They've done it for me, and they can do it for you. Most people overlook fruit as just sugar, but nature doesn't design sugar like a soda company. Fruit is a complete package, medicine wrapped in sweetness. And for 3 decades, 7 specific fruits have helped me stay sharp, energized, and free of illness. They're not exotic. They're not expensive. They're just waiting for you to see them differently. Let me show you the 7 fruits that changed my health and quite possibly saved my life. Let's begin with the one that rewired my mornings and reminded me what strength tastes like. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Apples, the everyday pill that healed more than my body. When I was in my early 60s, my mornings felt heavier than they should. My joints ached before I even left the bed. My energy dipped before noon. I thought it was normal, just part of getting older. That's what people told me. But something inside me resisted that idea. I didn't want to slowly become invisible to my own life. I didn't want to wait for illness to tell me what I should have done earlier. One day, a close friend, 15 years younger, but wise beyond his age, looked at me during lunch and said, "You know, my grandmother ate an apple every single morning, lived to 99, never needed pills for her heart or sugar." I laughed it off, but that night I bought a dozen apples. What started as a snack became a ritual. Every morning, before coffee, before news, I ate a fresh apple, skin on, crisp and cold, from the fridge. Within weeks, I noticed a shift. My digestion felt smoother. I didn't feel bloated after breakfast. My cholesterol numbers at my next checkup surprised even my doctor. "Whatever you're doing," he said, "keep doing it." But it wasn't just numbers on a chart. Apples made me feel awake again. The pectin in the flesh helped regulate my blood sugar so I didn't crash mid-morning. The quercetin in the skin, nature's anti-inflammatory, quieted my joint stiffness and sharpened my thinking. I wasn't just avoiding illness. I was recovering pieces of myself that I thought had faded with age. There's something honest about the apple. It doesn't promise miracles. It asks for your attention. And in return, it gives quiet, daily strength. According to researchers at Florida State University, older adults who ate apples daily saw a 23% reduction in inflammatory markers, a root cause of many age-related diseases. I didn't need that study to believe it. My body was proof. Over the years, the apple became more than a fruit. It became a message to myself. Today, I choose to care. And that one choice, repeated daily, added up to something far greater than I expected. But if apples were the beginning of my transformation, then the next fruit I discovered truly changed the way my body fights infection from the inside out. A golden source of immunity that might be sitting in your kitchen right now. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number two. Two, oranges, vitamin C is just the beginning. The first time I truly appreciated an orange, I wasn't thinking about health. I was thinking about my mother. She used to peel them slowly in the winter sun, the scent filling the room like warmth itself. She never talked about nutrients or immunity, but she never got sick either. I used to think it was luck. Now I know better. In my early 60s, I was getting frequent sinus infections, slow healing wounds, and that lingering tiredness that no nap could fix. I thought I was eating well. Meals had greens, grains, maybe even a multivitamin now and then. But one winter morning, while nursing a dry cough, I reached for an orange like my mother used to. I peeled it slice by slice. The taste was bright, alive, like medicine wrapped in sweetness. That small act led to a daily habit that changed everything. Oranges aren't just about vitamin C. That's the headline, yes, but the real story is deeper. Inside every segment is a blend of flavonoids, fiber, and powerful antioxidants like hesperidin, which improves circulation and reduces inflammation. I didn't just feel fewer colds coming on, I felt more awake, more grounded. My blood pressure steadied. My skin, dry and paper thin from age, began to glow with new vitality. There was a calm in my body that hadn't been there in years. The beauty of an orange is in its honesty. It doesn't ask for preparation. You don't have to juice it, cook it, or dress it up. You peel it, you eat it, and slowly it rebuilds you from the inside. Scientists at the University of Southern California found that older adults who consumed citrus regularly had stronger immune responses and reduced markers of oxidative stress. Again, I didn't need the study. I had lived the truth in my own bones. Every morning now, I hold that orange and remember not just my mother, but the message she unknowingly passed down. Healing doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be daily. And just when I thought citrus had given me all it could, I discovered something small, dark, and bursting with power. A berry so rich in memory boosting compounds, it's been called brain food by leading neurologists. 3. Blueberries, the little fruit that remembers for you. There was a time when I started forgetting names, simple ones, the neighbor I'd known for years, the nurse at my clinic. Even a few times, I caught myself standing in the kitchen holding a spoon, wondering what I'd walked in for. It wasn't frightening at first, just unsettling, like a light flickering in a room you've always trusted to be bright. That's when I knew I needed to do something, not later, but now. I didn't want to wait until my mind became a stranger to me. The answer came, strangely, in a handful of tiny blue spheres, blueberries. I remember reading a study out of Harvard that called them neuroprotective. I didn't understand the science back then, but I understood the message. These weren't just berries. They were brain food. So I made a quiet promise to myself. Every morning, no matter what, I would eat a small bowl of fresh blueberries. Some days I added them to Greek yogurt. Other days, I just ate them with a spoon, slowly, like medicine. And over time, something began to change. I felt more alert, less foggy. Conversations flowed easier. I didn't lose track of where I put my glasses quite so often. It turns out blueberries are packed with anthocyanins, the dark pigments that give them their deep color. These compounds cross the blood-brain barrier and reduce oxidative stress, one of the leading causes of age-related cognitive decline. A study from the National Institute on Aging found that seniors who consumed blueberries regularly performed better on memory tests and experienced slower cognitive aging by over 2 years. But the beauty of blueberries is that they do more than protect your memory. They restore something deeper, your connection to the moment. Eating them became an act of mindfulness for me. Each bite a reminder that healing isn't only about the body. It's about clarity, attention,
and the quiet joy of being fully present. Even now, I can't imagine a morning without them, and if I miss a day, my mind gently reminds me, like an old friend tapping me on the shoulder. But just as blueberries fed my memory, there was another fruit that began to rebuild my strength, a yellow companion that quietly stabilized my blood pressure, soothed my gut, and offered a level of balance I never expected. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4.
4. Bananas, the gentle stabilizer that kept me on my feet. I used to think of bananas as just a quick snack, something you'd toss into a lunchbox or blend into a smoothie. I never gave them much credit until my body did. In my mid 60s, I started experiencing sudden drops in energy. Sometimes, when I stood up too fast, the room would tilt ever so slightly. My legs would feel heavy by afternoon, and my digestion sluggish, unpredictable, and quietly frustrating. I chalked it up to aging. What else could it be? But a quiet afternoon chat with a retired dietitian changed the way I saw things. "You're probably low on potassium," she said gently, handing me a banana from her fruit bowl. "Start here." That evening, I peeled it slowly, ate it mindfully. I didn't expect anything dramatic, but over the next few days, I noticed something subtle yet profound. I felt more grounded, less wobbly. My digestion moved with quiet rhythm again, and my mood, it lightened, like a fog lifting from the inside out. Bananas, as I came to understand, aren't flashy. They don't come with labels like superfood or exotic origins, but they are rich in potassium, a mineral essential for heart health, nerve function, and fluid balance, especially in seniors. Potassium helps stabilize blood pressure, regulate heartbeat, and support muscle function. And unlike pills, bananas offer it wrapped in gentle fiber and natural sugars that don't spike your blood sugar wildly. They also contain prebiotics, which feed the good bacteria in your gut, an often overlooked key to immune strength and mood balance. My gut felt calmer. Bloating became rare. I began to trust my digestion again, something many people don't realize they've lost until they get it back. Most importantly, bananas gave me consistency. A fruit that's always there, always ready. No preparation, no fuss. Just peel, eat, and let your body feel the quiet support. Now, I never let more than a day pass without one. It's a small act of care, easy to overlook, but powerful in its quiet reliability. And just when I thought I had all the nourishment I needed, another fruit entered my life. Not sweet like the others, but bold, tangy, and surprisingly medicinal. It didn't just soothe my body, it helped my joints move like they were years younger. 5. Pineapple, the anti-inflammatory fruit that gave my joints a second chance. There was a winter many years ago when I thought my walking days were behind me. My knees had started to swell just from a short stroll down the block. I'd wake up with my fingers so stiff it felt like they belonged to someone else. The cold made everything worse, and the ache settled into my bones like a guest that wouldn't leave. My doctor offered me pain relievers, but deep down, I knew I needed something different. Something that wouldn't just mask the pain, but help my body undo it. That's when I stumbled across an article about bromelain, a natural anti-inflammatory enzyme found in pineapple. I wasn't looking for a miracle. I was just looking for relief. Still, something about it struck me. It was food, not medicine, with the potential to heal. So I started eating a few slices of fresh pineapple each morning. Not canned, not processed, just raw, golden fruit. At first, it was just refreshing. But after 2 weeks, I noticed my hands were looser. My knees didn't wince with every step. And my mornings, they felt lighter. Bromelain works differently from over-the-counter pills. It doesn't numb you, it restores you. It helps the body digest proteins more efficiently, reduces swelling, and even supports sinus health. Research from the University of Reading in the UK confirmed what I was feeling. Bromelain can reduce joint pain and improve mobility in aging adults, especially those dealing with osteoarthritis. And let's not forget the taste. Pineapple is vibrant, alive, and full of a tropical sweetness that somehow lifts the spirit along with the body. Eating it became something I looked forward to, a ritual of warmth even in the coldest seasons. It didn't just help my joints, it helped me move with joy again. That alone, to me, is medicine in its truest form. Now, every time I take that first bite, I feel a quiet thank you rising from my knees, my hands, my back. Pineapple didn't just reduce pain, it gave me back the rhythm of movement. But just as my body began to move freely again, I realized something was still missing. A fruit so rich in nutrients, it worked while I slept, healed my gut, and even helped me dream more deeply.
6. Kiwi, the night fruit that healed more than just my sleep. For years, I struggled to fall asleep, and even when I did, I rarely woke up rested. I'd lie in bed for hours, eyes wide open, mind running loops of worry. Some nights I'd drift off, only to wake again before dawn, restless and aching. At my age, I was told it was just part of getting older. Your body doesn't need as much sleep anymore, they said. But deep down, I didn't believe that. I believed my body still wanted to heal. It just didn't know how. Then came a quiet discovery, wrapped in fuzzy green skin and often overlooked on the grocery shelf: the kiwi. A friend at my local co-op mentioned it casually. "Eat 2 before bed," she said. "You'll see." I was skeptical. How could something so small make any real difference? But something about her calm conviction stayed with me. That night, I peeled 2 golden kiwis, sweet and tart all at once, and ate them slowly, like a final gesture of care before sleep. What followed surprised me. Not just better sleep, but deeper sleep, restorative. I woke up with a kind of clarity I hadn't felt in years. My stomach felt light, my breath came easier, and in the quiet hours of morning, I realized something remarkable. I felt whole. Kiwi, it turns out, is a powerhouse for seniors. Packed with vitamin C, serotonin-boosting compounds, and natural enzymes like actinidin that support digestion, it doesn't just help you sleep. It prepares your body to repair during rest. A study from Taipei Medical University found that older adults who ate 2 kiwis an hour before bed fell asleep 42% faster, slept more soundly, and woke less during the night. I didn't need the study. My body had already told me. Now, eating kiwi at night has become one of the most sacred parts of my routine. It signals my body, "You've done enough today. Now let go." It soothes my gut, calms my nerves, and sets the stage for the healing that only happens while we sleep. But as my nights became softer, my days needed strength, and that strength came from one final fruit, not soft or sweet, but bold, dark, and powerful. A fruit that fortified my heart, sharpened my focus, and just might be the closest thing I've found to a daily shield. 7. Grapes, the heart-strengthening fruit that became my daily shield. When I was younger, grapes were just a sweet snack, something I tossed into lunches or grabbed by the handful without much thought. But as the years passed and my heart began to speak more clearly in the language of blood pressure checks and cholesterol numbers, I knew sweetness alone wasn't enough. I needed something stronger, something wiser, something that didn't just taste good, but worked quietly and faithfully inside me. That's when I found out about resveratrol, a powerful antioxidant found mostly in the skin of red and black grapes. I had heard the word before, tucked into health articles, or whispered in wine commercials. But it wasn't until I read a study from the Mayo Clinic that I began to truly understand its power. Resveratrol, it turns out, can reduce inflammation, protect the inner lining of blood vessels, lower bad cholesterol, and even support brain health. It wasn't just a heart helper. It was a full-body guardian. So I changed how I saw grapes. No longer just a snack, they became a ritual. Every afternoon I would sit by the window with a small bowl of red or black grapes. The darker the better. I chewed them slowly, skin and all, knowing that each bite was more than nourishment. It was reinforcement, a subtle form of self-defense. Over time, I began to notice shifts I couldn't ignore. My circulation improved. My hands and feet no longer felt icy in the morning. My blood pressure readings settled into healthier ranges. And something else, something harder to measure, began to take root, a steady, calm strength in my chest. Not just physical, but emotional too. It felt like resilience. Grapes taught me that the smallest things can hold the greatest power when they're given daily and with intention. Their sweetness is deceptive. They carry a kind of quiet determination inside. Even the seeds, when I ate them, felt like tiny promises of health still unfolding. And for those who worry about sugar, know this. The fiber and antioxidants in whole grapes help your body process their natural sugars differently than any processed snack ever could. They're not just safe, they're protective, especially when paired with a life of movement, sleep, and care. Today, when I look at a grapevine, I don't just see fruit, I see strength wrapped in softness, a reminder that protection doesn't have to be loud or complicated. It just has to be consistent. But even after years of these habits, there's one final piece I haven't shared yet. One quiet action I take every single night. Not a fruit, not a food, but something even more powerful. Something that doesn't just slow aging, it might actually reverse it. The quiet power of choosing health, one bite at a time. Looking back over these 30 years, I realize now it was never just about the fruit. Yes, apples balanced my blood sugar, oranges strengthened my immunity, blueberries sharpened my memory, bananas kept me steady on my feet, pineapple soothed my aching joints, kiwi gave me rest, and grapes, they became my shield. But underneath all of those choices was something even more important, the quiet, daily decision to care. That's what health really is, not a miracle pill, not a sudden transformation. It's not found in the gym or in expensive treatments. It's in the quiet moment when you choose to peel the fruit, sit in stillness, eat with attention, and whisper to your body, I haven't given up on you. Aging has a way of making people feel invisible. The world tells us to slow down, to expect less from life, to accept that pain, forgetfulness, and fatigue are just part of the package. But I stand here, over 90 years old, not in defiance of age, but in deep partnership with it. Aging is not the enemy. Neglect is. We don't fall apart all at once. We unravel in the small things we skip, the breakfast we rush, the walk we put off, the water we forget to drink, the fruit we say we'll eat tomorrow. And healing doesn't come all at once either. It returns slowly through gentle decisions repeated consistently, thought by thought, bite by bite. The truth is, these fruits didn't just keep me from getting sick, they taught me how to live well. They reminded me that nature has already given us tools for healing. We just have to remember how to use them. So if you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond, wondering if it's too late to start, let me tell you what I now know in my bones. It's never too late to care for yourself. Your body hasn't given up on you. Your cells still respond to love. Your heart still beats for a reason. And every morning you wake up is an invitation to begin again. Start small. Choose one fruit. Make it part of your morning, not as a chore, but as a gesture of self-respect. Then let it grow. Let your routine become a quiet ceremony. Let your meals become moments of healing, not just habits. Because at the end of the day, health is not about avoiding death. It's about embracing life fully, gently, and with joy. And if you've stayed with me this far, I'll leave you with this. The most powerful medicine isn't stored in a bottle. It lives in your choices. And it all begins with what you place on your plate. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.